Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome back for another video. As you can see, I'm currently essentially manual running a Hydra, which is something I haven't done in a really long time. Now, someone in my clan who gets absolutely disgusting Hydra damage kind of made a suggestion to me saying, hey Dan, like, why aren't you using this champion? Why are you doing it like that? And now that I've run it a few times today, the guy was 100% right. So this kind of is my quest to get to 1 billion. So let's kind of look at the builds. We'll have a little look at the team setup, just kind of roughly explaining why I've built my team this way. And then we'll get back to it and see what numbers we can actually get out of this team. But guys, before we go any further with this video, just letting you know there is a promo link. It's going to be in the pinned comment of this video as well as the description. If you're looking for a fresh start in Raid, maybe you want to try the free-to-play life, maybe you just want to recommend the game to a friend, it's going to get you off to a really solid head start with champions like Elenaril, Fayne, Tagoar and Uugo. And if you want that, just follow these instructions. Log out of Plarium and Play on your PC and uninstall the game. Click the link, register with a brand new email address, log in, complete the tutorial, go to your inbox and claim your first free champion. Like I say, proper solid head start in this game. Click the link below and get your goodies today. So let's just take a look at how I've got everyone built. This is a team that's really centered around Mikage and Toshiro. Now, before I got Toshiro, I was actually using Oboro. If you haven't tried Mikage Oboro, do it. It's a ridiculous team. But because of Mikage's A1 skill, it basically teams up with an ally from the Shadowkin faction who will attack every time she uses her A1. They're also going to attack every time she uses her A3. So when you've got someone as powerful as Toshiro that's just smack every time Mikage goes, you really start to see numbers racking up. On top of that, we've got Garrel in her alternate form, and on her passive, she's got whenever an ally attacks, this champion has a 25% chance to team up and join the attack, which is absolutely ridiculous. Combine that with when she does attack, there's still a 20% chance she might repeat the attack. And what I noticed when I was running the Hydra run is that sometimes Garrel would just go in and smack like 5 or 6 times in a row. Very cool, unless there's reflect damage, which absolutely boned me about 4 or 5 times, but hey ho. So the whole team is essentially centered around Lady Mikage, who, as we know, is a free champion. If you haven't got her, kind of drop everything and work towards getting her. I think there is an argument to be made that she is just the most complete champion in this entire game. Base form, incredible. Alternate form, incredible. There's not really anything she doesn't do. If she had a speed aura, well, they'd probably have to just ban her from the game. So it's all centered around her. Like I say, bringing in the ally attack with Toshiro, the synergy with Garrel. So these three are kind of holding it down. Then aside from that, I've brought in Lydia, who, as we all know, is just awesome. She's kind of there really for the block buffs, is just such a solid little bonus that she's got. But obviously the A2 is ridiculous as well as A1. And then we've got Archer. Now, I know you cannot get Archer. I was so lucky to get Archer. She is just kind of the Hydra queen. There's a lot of options nowadays, but with what she brings, you know, Hydra is just how many different things can you get on one champion and then build up your team that way, throw it at the Hydra, and you're just going to get the most out of it. But obviously she's got her Hex and Provoke on an AoE, which is solid, as well as a decreased speed on another AoE, and her passive is very cool. She's kind of the team healer, because anytime she hits anyone that's got Hex on it, which she has already put out, she heals everyone by 10%, which is just ridiculous. And then lastly, you've got Feral the Barkhorn, who is just the ultimate utility kind of champion, bringing in block buffs and also perfect veil and increased resistance. This is basically my way of getting around the head, whose name I can't remember, that puts true fear on everyone. The head of pain in the ass. Can't remember what it's called, but it's annoying. So let's just quickly look at the build. For my Mikage, I normally would run her in a relentless set, but she was outrunning her buffs. So she could kind of be in anything. There's nothing overly special about how I've built her. We just set the Hydra battles here. I've got a few area bonuses. So as you can see, 342 speed, very fast, pretty much 100% crit rate. And then she's got a ton of accuracy and resistance. This way, she's going to land her debuffs. She's not going to get debuffed. But the whole point is that she just cycles her skills as fast as possible. And just a quick look at the gear. I've just gone for anything that's like speed, accuracy, resistance, and survivability. You can see it's kind of the same thing across the board. I went with crit rate gloves because I'm just trying to get those stats up, but by all means, like defense percent or HP percent would be really solid. Accuracy on the chest, more speed, more defense, and then speed boots with more speed and resistance. I did put a 2-piece pinpoint on her. As you'll know, we're just about to finish the event dungeon. That's why pinpoint can be so handy, because it's adding 10% speed on the accessories. Very cool. But yeah, she's just accuracy, resistance, speed. That's kind of how I've gone with her. So that's Mikage. On to Garrel in her alternate form, but the bonus is up. Nope. 260 speed, just under crit cap. That's a little bit bad of me. Masses of crit damage, nearly 7k attack. Nothing really much on the resistance and the accuracy. She doesn't need accuracy. And Feral is increasing her resistance anyway, so she doesn't get debuffed. Quick look at the gear. I've gone for a 6-piece Merciless and double perception. Now that's not because she needs accuracy, it's just the way the gear came out. As you can see, it's just crit rate, crit damage, attack, speed. So we'll see it on the gear going through here. Just as much stats as I could get into her. That resistance is pretty useless, but didn't want to spend any more. Just loads of speed, loads of attack, crit damage, and more speed. It's kind of Garrel. There's not much to her build. Toshiro is kind of the same. I've gone for actually a 9-piece Merciless, and as you'll see here, these are his stats. He's running 6.7k attack with 327 crit damage, 245 speed, a little bit over crit capped. He's got enough accuracy to land his leech and decreased defense. Obviously Mikage accuracy aura is helping out there. And yeah, this is his gear. Much and much the same. Just anything crit rate, speed, crit damage and attack. Haven't really got any resistance on him. I did notice he got provoked a few times, but what can you do? And just, yeah, as you can see, I've just tried to cram as much attack and whatever I can get into him. The ring's not great. It's all I had. Obviously he'll want an attack ring. We did get crit damage on the amulet and we got attack on the banner. Very nice. Lydia, this is actually the build we built her in the other day during my video. I didn't realize that before I started the run. Normally I would run her in 9-piece protection just for more damage output, but yep, you saw the video the other day. Here are the stats with her in Hydra. She's fast, she's tanky, she's got a load of resistance and a load of accuracy. That's kind of all she's there. She is the debuffer of the team. And yep, as I'll just quickly flick through the gear, exactly the same as what we did the other day. There's still room for improvement. I haven't put glyphs on half of this. Just speed, resistance, accuracy, survivability. There we go. That's Lydia. Now on to Archer. I love Affinity Breaker set for my debuffers. So as you can see there, that's just a 50% chance to turn a weak hit into a critical hit. That has saved me so many times in Hydra, especially if the head that you need to provoke is a different affinity. This can help massively. But yeah, I went 4-piece Merciless so that she has a chance to reduce a cooldown, 4-piece Affinity Breaker. These are her stats. She's in some pretty good gear. You'll see that. 4.5k defense, crit capped with a bit of crit damage, 302 speed, 490 accuracy, and 417 resistance. She's one of those champions that you can throw any gear on her and she's probably going to do well. And then lastly, kind of man of the match, Mr. Feral. I've built him in a 9-piece protection just because I want the most amount of damage in this team as possible. And then like with everything Hydra, it's just speed, survivability. This guy needs accuracy and resistance. That's kind of all. This is the sort of gear that's on him. Speed, accuracy, defense and HP. Same thing there. More defense, speed, accuracy, defensive stats, tons of speed, more accuracy. And yeah, that's kind of all there is to it. Now, luckily, most of the gear that you see on these champions, there's nothing pay to win about the gear. Protection you get from doing Hydra. Merciless you get from doing Cursed City. There's not really much point in even farming dungeons anymore. But finally, just before we get back to the run, here is the setup that I've used. Mikage just stays in her base form. That's where her Hydra value really lies. I've put a priority on the buff extend, and I've actually put her ally attack as a second priority, just because I'm trying to keep up the perfect veil as much as possible. Lydia, A2 priority, and her A3 as the second priority. Feral, it's his veil and increase res on number 1, and number 2 priority is going to be his block buffs. Archer, provoke and hex always the priority, decrease speed as her second priority. Garrel actually straight into alternate form. We won't use the base form for this fight, mainly just focusing around getting off as many A2s as possible. And then obviously the only other thing she does is A1, nice and simple. And then Toshiro stays in base form. His A3 with the decreased defense and leech is the priority, and then his A2 is his 4-hitter. So that's kind of it. It's really simple. There's not a whole lot of setup required for this. If you have got these champions or something like it, you use a priority a little bit like this and you should get pretty good results. So here we are. I have come back and someone's just been eaten. That's Toshiro. Hopefully that doesn't completely flatten the run, but as you'll see, we're not quite going to make the billion, but we've flown past my personal best, which I think was 713 million, some 712, 713. And yeah, as you saw with the builds and the way this team works, this is kind of the Mikage and the Toshiro show. Now, yes, you could argue this is a massive sort of pay-to-win style team, but no one's really got anything pay-to-win on them. You know, I don't buy mythical shards or primal shards or whatever they're called, or just any shards in general, because I've been burned too many times. But yeah, I'm not saying it's the most accessible team, but it's actually been kind of fun, except for the hour and a half that it's taken me. And actually, ultimately, it's been quite a nice surprise. I'm sad I'm not going to hit a billion, but hey ho. And I would probably hazard a guess that Toshiro has put out the absolute mega damage that this team has done. Garrel's nice, as you can see, where she double, sometimes triple. I think at one point I saw her hit 7 times in a row, which is just nuts. It reminds me of when you watch a kind of one of those really clutch Rotos battles in Arena, and he just A1, 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 A1 and just kills everyone. And you know that the enemy team is just kind of crying. But yes, we are now coming to the end. 800 mil would have been really, really nice. But unless we get a really solid decap and then Toshiro goes, I don't think it's going to happen, but I can't really complain, with the exception of how much time it's taken. Normally in Garrel's place I run Wukong because I quite like having the buff strip and the block buffs. Obviously Firal's putting out the block buffs as well, but yeah, this is not a particularly auto-friendly team. Every time I've tried it, it barely crept past the 200 mil mark. But yeah, it's been a long time since we've manualed Hydra, and I think I now remember why, because this is long. But here we go, we've beat the personal best. There you have it, 779. Toshiro doing 400 million, that's awesome. Garrel at 250, and then the rest of them are doing what they're doing. So yes, that's been my video for today. Please do like and subscribe if you like what I'm doing. Leave a comment, you know, what's your favorite Hydra teams, or if you just parked Hydra since they did all the changes. That's been me for today. I'll see you on the next one. Also, I was just looking at who we're up against this week, and I've spotted a name that I recognize. It's Mr. Saf from HH Gaming, with quite a similar team actually to the one I'm using, but hate to break it to you, mate, got you beat on this one. See you next time.